Hey guys, this is a video for anybody who's interested in purchasing an Arcade1UP machine or an iiRcade machine. I have 5 of the Arcade1UP machines, and then obviously here in the middle, the Dragon's Lair version of the iiRcade machine. I've been happy with all of these machines, and of course depending on your finances and the room you may have in your house and your family size and all of that, that kind of depends on if any of these cabinets would be right for you. I'm going to talk about something I'm not sure that is talked about maybe enough in other videos, but if you were only, for example, maybe going to get one of these cabinets, this might be a video that would help you. The Arcade1UP machines are really nice, and one thing that I really like about them, and I have over here the Golden Axe machine. You can get a few 4-player machines, a few of your standard 2-player machines, or just a 1-player one, like Miss Pac-Man, but the games come with just a predetermined number of games. So Miss Pac-Man, for example, there has 4, Mortal Kombat has 12 Midway games, and the Golden Axe machine has 5 games on it. So I like the fact that when you get these machines, there's no option, unless you take internally and take out the PCB, there's no way to add more games. So as an arcade player, especially if you're a bit older like me, if you're in your 40s or somewhere around there, then you don't have a lot of time to play. You don't have to worry about going through and downloading different games and trying to determine what you're going to play. You can just, with the limited choices, pick one of the games and go play it. So that's really fun. All of the Arcade1UP machines that I have save your high score, which is really nice in most of the games that do save a high score, so that's a nice feature. Some of them, kind of depends on the game, are a little bit cramped if you're an adult. I'm a 5'8 and a half, 40-something-year-old man, so even I find it a little bit cramped to play on some like the Arcade1UP Midway Mortal Kombat 2. It's a little tough if you have 2 people playing side by side. Some of the 4-player ones like the Golden Axe and over here the Ninja Turtle machine, those are a bit better obviously if you're playing with 2, because you can kind of pick which controller for most games that you want to pick. So you get a little bit more room there, and it's not that it's impossible to play, but it does get a little bit cramped. And particularly with the Midway and with this one, the Street Fighter version, you kind of have the raised sides here, which make it a little bit tougher if you're fitting in 2 people. With 1 person, I have had no problem with it. This is the iiRcade machine. Probably I do like this one a bit better than the Arcade1UP machines. What I like about the system specifically are the buttons. There's a noticeable quality difference in the buttons on the iiRcade and the Arcade1UP. That's not to say that the Arcade1UP buttons are bad. At least in my opinion, I know a lot of people talk about replacing the buttons. I've had no interest in that. Everything works absolutely perfectly. There is just a noticeable difference in the quality of the buttons on this machine versus one of the Arcade1UP machines. If you're more interested in the downloading games, then there are some really great games on the iiRcade. Maybe not your name brand games. Obviously they don't have, I don't think, deals with Capcom or Midway or some of the other companies that Arcade1UP uses, but there are some great obscure games on here, as well as some that you recognize. This machine came with, I think, 10 or 12 games that you could delete off and then you could download from their store onto the system. So it's really great for kind of customizing, so you get just the games that you want to play. And that, of course, can be a double-edged sword. It can be good to have a lot of choices, but I wouldn't want to have 500 games on here. It can be tough when you kind of are more worried about downloading a game to play as opposed to just picking one to play. So that kind of could be positive or negative, but in general, I think this one's a bit better. One thing to note when you're looking at buying a machine is it one of the machines that allows you to pause? On some of the newer ones, like the Street Fighter cabinet here, you can pause the game in the middle if you press like player 1 and player 2. So that's nice, because life does interrupt us sometimes. The iiRcade does allow you to pause. Earlier cabinets like the Ninja Turtle cabinet here does not allow pause, nor does Golden Axe, or Miss Pac-Man. And to an extent, you get some authenticity with that, because you couldn't pause arcade games back in the day. And it doesn't really matter. It's not a huge deal, because a lot of times you're only playing for a set number of minutes anyway in your busy schedule. This one does allow you to pause. The Mortal Kombat, it does allow you to pause. But that is something to consider when you're buying one of these. It doesn't have that modern functionality built into it. All of these cabinets, including the iiRcade, save your game on games that are compatible. So what's really nice about all of these is, and also you have the online play, by the way. And I haven't gotten this to work really great, but that's another thing. Some of the Arcade1UP cabinets do allow for online play or online score kind of cabinets. The ones that I have do not. So if you're into that kind of thing and you like the online play, then that's an option that you have. But that's basically it, guys. You really can't go wrong getting one of these. I enjoy all 6 of these cabinets. They're really fun for different reasons. The games that I have on them are really good to kind of sit down and play when you have a few minutes. My recommendation would be, if you could only get one cabinet, I would recommend the iiRcade because it is customizable, because you can select which games you want, as long as it doesn't make it a problem where you're just trying to, at least this is just me talking, where you have a problem where you're constantly trying to add games instead of just enjoying, the games that are already there that you already have on the system. But they're all really good options. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day, and God bless.